Welcome, travelers. I'm a servant of the ancient king, and I am so thrilled you're here. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to embark on a totally cinematic mystery quest straight into the heart of a grand ancient palace. We're exploring a story told by Jesus, and let me tell you, it's a story filled with incredible invitations, massive plot twists, and a hidden secret about exactly what you have to wear to the absolute greatest party in the universe. So grab your investigative gear because we're stepping back in time.
But first, I gotta ask you directly, will you help me solve the mystery of the king's strange banquet? Because honestly, I can't do this without you. Just picture those massive, heavy, ancient city gates swinging wide open with a huge, cinematic thud. Imagine the dust clearing out, grand trumpets echoing in the distance, and the towering stone walls of the king's fortress rising up right in front of us. You and I are about to walk right into a story that has literally puzzled people for thousands of years. Let's go.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The Royal Invitation. The start of our cinematic mystery.
So, to really understand this mystery, we need to trace the historical sequence of events on this timeline. First up, the greatest feast imaginable is prepared at a huge cost. I mean, we're talking banquet tables stretching as far as the eye can see, solid gold plates, the very finest foods roasting over massive open fires, and the entire palace just glowing with thousands of torches. It's beautiful, but second, the unimaginable happens. The VIP guests flat out refuse to come. Third, the king executes swift judgment on the people who insulted his kingdom. And fourth, a massive new invitation is sent out to completely different people. It's a crazy sequence that turns the whole social order upside down.
Which leads us to Section 2, a strange refusal, the inciting incident.
I want you to lean in close for this because it's actually shocking. The king sends his royal servants out to the VIP guests, the people who'd been on the exclusive guest list for years, saying, "Hey, everything is ready, come to the feast." But look at these crazy excuses. They completely ignored the messengers. One guy literally said, "Yeah, I have to go look at my farm." Another was like, "I gotta handle my business." They treated the greatest, free, highest honor invitation in history like it was just a total annoyance. And it actually gets worse. A group of them seized the king's servants, mistreated them, and killed them. The king, full of totally righteous anger over this rebellion, sent his armies and burned their city to the ground.
Let's move on and see how this builds. Section 3, the ancient city search, inviting everyone.
Okay, so the banquet is completely ready, the food is hot, the hall is glowing, but the VIP tables are totally empty. Does the king cancel the party? Absolutely not. No way. Imagine the camera panning rapidly across the bustling, dusty streets of this ancient city. Picture the royal servants running through the crowded markets and dirt roads calling out to the poor, the outcasts, the merchants, the beggars. The open invite has been declared, everyone is welcome. It didn't matter what their background was. The servants gathered up both the good and the bad, and suddenly, this massive crowd of everyday regular people is being rushed through those glittering palace doors.
Just look at the incredible contrast here. On one side, you have the original VIP guests, way too busy, full of excuses, relying on their own self-importance, and ultimately rejecting the king. But on the other side, you've got the street guests, a totally unexpected crowd, a messy mix of good and bad people, who eagerly accepted the call. And because of them, that glittering cinematic banquet hall was absolutely packed to the brim with joyous, celebrating guests.
Now we arrive at the true climax of our explainer. Section 4, Mystery of the Garment, the King's Inspection. So the feast is booming, the music is playing, everyone is having an amazing time, but suddenly a hush falls over the massive crowd. The king himself steps into the banquet hall. He's walking slowly down the aisles, carefully inspecting his guests. And here's the question that cracks our whole mystery wide open. As the king walks through, he spots a man. Why would someone sneak into a royal party without the right clothes? I mean, everyone else in the room is glowing, wearing a spectacular pure white wedding garment provided at the door. But this one guy is just sitting there in his regular, dusty, dirty street clothes.
The king walks right up to him and asks, "Friend, how did you get in here without wedding clothes?" And the man is completely speechless. He's got no excuse. Why? Because in those ancient royal weddings, the king provided the super expensive wedding robes for entirely free right at the door. So to sit there in your own clothes meant you looked the king in the eye, rejected his gift, and basically decided your dirty street clothes were better than his royal robe. Because of this ultimate insult, the man is tied up and thrown out into the outer darkness.
Which brings us to Section 5, wearing the king's robe, the ultimate secret. Okay, actually, I'm going to drop my historical servant character for just a second here, because we really need to talk about what this incredible dramatic story actually means for you and me today. Jesus wasn't just telling a story about ancient fashion choices. He was giving us the ultimate secret to getting into heaven. The banquet represents eternal life. But what exactly is the garment?
So, the crucial point is this definition right here. The wedding garment is the completely free gift of Jesus Christ's perfect, spotless character and righteousness. Our sources describe it as a beautiful robe woven in the loom of heaven without a single thread of human inventing. It's not about how good you are or how many nice things you've done. It is 100% a free gift of pure light and perfection that Jesus offers to wrap around you.
And this brilliantly illustrates a concept you might actually be super familiar with. Think of it kind of like a school uniform. When everyone wears the exact same uniform, you can't tell who comes from a super rich family and who comes from a poor family, right? The king's robe does exactly that. It's supplied completely free at the door. It replaces our messy, sinful, filthy rags. When God looks at the banquet hall, He doesn't see our past mistakes. He sees everyone united as total equals, covered in the perfect shining uniform of His Son.
It really is the ultimate contrast. Our clothes are described in the Bible as filthy rags. Even when we try our absolute hardest to be good enough, it's kind of like trying to wear straight-up mud to a royal wedding. It just doesn't work. But the king's robe is perfect obedience. It's given entirely by grace. Our sources describe it as a beautiful covering of light, just like the angels wear. We just have to be willing to let go of our own pride and accept His beautiful covering.
So how do we make sure we don't get thrown out of the banquet? Well, it's 3 simple steps. Step 1, hear the king's call. He is inviting everyone out there, and yes, that definitely includes you. Step 2, accept the free gift. Now remember, freedom is totally essential to love. The king will never ever force his love or his clothes on anyone. You have to willingly say yes. And step 3, wear the royal robe. Let Christ's love and character actually change how you live your life every single day.
Now, what's really interesting about this final famous quote from Jesus' story, "Many are called, but few are chosen," is that at first glance, it sounds like God is just randomly picking favorites, right? But our source material breaks this down beautifully. God calls and invites everyone. The word chosen means that we actually do the choosing. We become the elect simply by accepting the invitation and choosing to put on the free robe. The king provided everything. The choice is entirely in our hands.
Which brings us to the very end of our grand mystery. The huge palace doors are wide open. The music is playing. The king's servants are standing right there at the door holding a pure, glowing white robe with your name on it. So, are you ready to accept your royal invitation? Are you willing to drop your own street clothes and wear the king's perfect robe? The greatest banquet in the universe is waiting for you. I highly recommend you RSVP right now. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, I will see you at the feast.